Before we get started, a quick reminder. Unlocked is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult a qualified healthcare provider for any health concerns. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and give a thumbs up, and share across all platforms. Unlocked. Mental performance, physical results. Welcome to Unlocked, where we're going to talk about how mental performance affects physical results. I'm Coach Eric. I had a great idea for today. I had a game plan. Got it all ready and set. I thought it was going to be real creative and interesting. And I promise I'm going to do that episode in the future. But instead of kicking it off that way, I'm going to take it a different direction. And I'm not going to make the mistake of making this a real boring episode where I'm going to really dive deep into the tools of mental performance. Those things are coming as well. No, I'm going to share a story with you. And I'm going to tell you about a mental performance thing in my past that really stood out to me as a great example of something we can learn from and we can work towards. Now, many years ago, I'm talking 2010 through 2015, I spent a lot of time working with mixed martial arts fighters, primarily at the low level. We're talking amateur, pro-am, regional professionals, and they're in a combat sport arena where things are really, really difficult, both mentally and physically. And hey, you know what that means? Also emotionally. So it takes a lot to get yourself up and ready to fight. So I'm working with these fighters, and I've got one guy I work with. His name's Chris, and he is really, really, really talented. Young man, fresh off of a quality Division I wrestling career, and has a passion for the sport. He wants to stay in combat sports, and he starts to study Muay Thai. He starts to study jiu-jitsu, and he's really working towards being a professional fighter. And one of the guys he trains with on and off ends up going on to a long UFC career. And Chris had all the tools to get there, all the tools to be that guy. And he was so passionate. And when I say passionate, I don't just mean about his own fighting, but I mean about the training. I mean about the other guys in the gym's training. You came to the cage and you've been there for 2 weeks and some slum promoter got you a fight and you're not ready for it at all. Well, first, I would try to talk you out of it. I'd be like, look, man, train here for months, maybe years, then start getting punched in the face. But some guys, they just got to get in there and get it out of their system, right? So you take a guy like Chris, who's a high-level combatant, a guy who's wrestled at the top levels and collegiately, and he'd be right there with them, passionately rooting for them in their corner, working hard to help turn that first experience in cage fighting into a success, win or lose. Because he understood that in MMA, a chokehold, a right hook, anything can end your day, even if you've done everything right. It's a really difficult sport in that way. So he was always fully bought into those things. Now, the thing about sports is that, like any other path in life, if you want to be the best, you have to be focused, you have to be completely dedicated to that task. And usually that means to the excessive amount where you neglect other aspects of your personality, other aspects of your life. That doesn't mean it isn't worth it. But let's face it, if you're playing Division I and it's, say, baseball, right? You don't get to take the fall off. As a freshman, you're not going back to your high school girlfriend's homecoming. You're not going back to see your parents every weekend because you have to train. You can't go out drinking every Friday night because you have to train. You have to dedicate yourself to the task, and you have to keep your grades up. So not only do you have to go to practice in the morning, early hours, not only do you have to find time to hit the weight room on your schedule, but you also have to attend class and you have to keep your grades up because if you don't, you're out, right? So it takes a special amount of dedication to make it. And in a sport like MMA, you have to be mentally tough, you have to be physically tough, and you have to be resilient because you're going to get beat up. It's going to happen. Look, I took a little training in it. I was never a fighter. And I can tell you it never would have been for me because even though there would have been opportunities for me while I was still in the prime of my life to go do some amateur stuff and have a little fun, I didn't like getting punched in the mouth, and I certainly didn't like getting choked. And if I rolled around with a dude like Chris, he made it very clear where I stood in those regards. So I never foolishly stepped in there to do anything other than to spar with the other extremely casual guys just like me. right? So you have to know where you stand in these things, and you have to accept that, and you have to focus on that, and you have to work through it. Now, if you want to be the best, you have to get past the limitations created by your biases and by your other investments. So if you love your mama and you love your city and you love your girlfriend and you want to start a family, it becomes very difficult to shed those anchors when you're trying to rise and go, if where you need to go is not where you are. So if you live in a town where you can't train to do what you need to do and you have an opportunity to go, are you willing to go? Are you willing to sacrifice it? Are you willing to burn the midnight oil? Are you willing to give up going back to senior prom with a girlfriend while you're a freshman in college because you play on the baseball team, spring season is taken up? Those are the kind of sacrifices you have to be willing to make as you progress in sports. So back to Chris. Where does that come in with all of this? Well, I was with him at a fight up in Atlantic City at the Tropicana. He's fighting at the Trop, and I mean, this is so much fun. And he's fighting against a big dude, strong dude. And Chris is piecing him up. I mean, he's piecing him up. But he gets scooped. And look, once you're scooped, I don't care how big a dude you are. I don't care if you're 6'5", 6'6". I don't care if you're 225, 230, 280 pounds. Once you are scooped, you're getting slammed. So there's this picture of him. He's been scooped. He's going down. It's happening. And he's got a grin. I'm talking a grin ear to ear. The man's about to get thrown on his back by a big, strong horse of a dude. And he's grinning. Why? Because he loves it. He loves it. He loves the grind. He loves the bad. He loves the good. He's fully invested in the moment. And the passion shows through even in the bad moments. Because if you can't thrive and love and survive in the bad moments, sports are going to wear you out. They're going to wear you out. So let's talk about baseball for a minute, because baseball is one of my favorite sports to talk about when it comes to the goal, right? You're not getting physically slammed like Chris is. You're being held up above a guy's waist and getting ready to go down on the mat. No. In baseball, you have games almost every day. You have practices on all the other days. You've got to lift. You've got to work on footwork. You've got to go out and just grind, grind, grind. How many balls are you going to hit off the tee? How many balls are you going to hit on front toss? How many times are you going to do your step through throws? How many times are you going to work on front foot receiving the ball? How many times are you going to work on drop step? How many? Well, it's going to be a ton. It's going to be so many that when you close your eyes at night, you see it, you feel it, you live it, right? And unlike other sports, unlike, say, basketball, which, again, you got to love basketball, and you're going to do a ton of grinding in basketball, but one of the rewards at practice in basketball is you can scrimmage. In baseball, you're not rolling out your 90-plus mile per hour arm who's got a pitch on Thursday, on a Monday, to go live in a scrimmage with your dudes. You're not doing that in baseball. So baseball is truly, truly a grind like that. It's same thing with track and field, same thing with all sports, but baseball is particularly very mentally grinding. And you have to love it. You have to love that grind. Because when you get scooped, you're going to get slammed. So after that fight was over, that picture made its way onto social media. Now, this was obviously, like I said, a long time ago, but social media was still out there. It wasn't as prevalent as it is now. And I thought it was very interesting. You know, Chris could have come out and been embarrassed by that picture because he's got to get scooped and slammed. He could have been upset about that picture because even though everybody in his corner had scored that match at best 2 rounds to Chris and a tie in the round that he got slammed, and despite the fact that the opponent he fought was so injured in that fight that he'd never decided to fight again, and you hate that for him. I hate that for him. I hate that that was his retirement. But it was a very physical fight, and he didn't come out feeling very good about it. Despite all of that, Chris didn't get the judge's nod. He didn't get the win. We're standing there thinking, he doesn't have a scratch on him. You know, we're going to go out and get beers later. And the other guy's arm got raised. And so not only is there a picture of Chris getting ready to get slammed, not only does he have this giant grin on his face like he can't wait to get slammed, but he lost the fight in what felt like an absolute robbery. So what does he put on Facebook with this picture? What is the caption? Might as well smile. You're going to get slammed either way. Think about that. This is after he already knew he lost the fight. This is after he got slammed by that dude. This is after he went through all those months of training and weight cutting and management to get to that point in the picture that's up there. is him getting slammed with a grin on his face. And he's right. He's absolutely right. You might as well smile because you're going to get slammed either way. You're going to get slammed. You must embrace the grind. You must embrace the lowest levels of your sports career to get to the highest levels of your sports career. And if you can't do that, you're self-limiting. So I love that picture because that picture represents so much that is critical to sports. First of all, you do have to love it. You can't play at a high level because mom, dad, uncle, aunt, grandparent, they love it. You can't play at a high level because your girlfriend thinks you look good in a Letterman's jacket. Aging myself there a little bit. You can only do it the highest levels if you love it. You love it. If you love it. So, in those moments, when you're dying of sweat, when your coach is barking at you, when you've got to do one more round of suicides, when you've got to do one more rep, when you've got to do one more set, when you've got to do a bullpen, when you got to hit the tee, when you've got to sprint one more 40, when you've got to run one more mile, swim one more lap, complete one more successful volley. You've got to be able to grin. You've got to be able to smile. That resilience, that mental fortitude, that willingness and ability to bounce back even in those dark moments is critical to long-term success. And the other part of that, the other huge underlying theme there is he lost. He lost that fight. And yet the next day on Facebook, he wasn't bashing the scorekeepers. He wasn't thrashing his opponent. He wasn't, hey, did you see the other guying it? He was simply saying, might as well smile. You're going to get slammed either way. And I love that. I love that because what it shows you is at every moment, win, lose, or draw, you have to be mentally strong enough. You have to be able to dig deep, find the fortitude to keep going, keep training, keep playing, to keep getting up off the mat and going another round. And you can't make excuses and you can't focus on external circumstances if you internally want to be successful. And so on this show, as we do these podcasts, as we do these episodes, and I start building up the portfolio of things I want to talk to you about, the recurring theme is going to be mental performance. Because how you perform mentally has so incredibly much to do with how you perform physically. Think about it. If him getting slammed there just broke his morale, does he get back up? Of course not. If you let a gloomy or bad mood get in your way, you're going to be more likely to strike out or get a hit. If you're not confident enough as you climb into the blocks, what are the chances you clear that first hurdle instead of catching your toe? Because you know that your preparedness for running this race, your preparedness for competing at the highest level, it starts between your ears. Yes, you've got to be properly hydrated. You've got to be properly fueled. You need to be toned. You need to be practiced. You need to be stretched. But if you're not focused, if you're not confident, when they raise that starting gun, you're not getting out of the blocks fast. You're not going to finish fast. Your body is going to perform lethargic if your brain performs lethargic. If your body is distracted, it's because your brain is distracted. That is your command center. You know it, and I know. So for every competition you're in life and in sports, your mental performance is going to have direct physical results. I know. Whew, that was a lot, but I appreciate you sticking with it. I know that together, you're going to learn how to keep grinning and grinding. I'm Coach Eric. This has been Unlocked Mental Performance, Physical Results. Thumbs up, share us, like us. Make sure you comment, shoot an email, visit us. Let's get involved in getting you better.
Ready to rock. Commit to the moment, let the past fade away. Get back in the game, you're ready to play. Sun shining bright, he's feeling the heat. With every deep breath, he's back on his feet. Visualizing success, he's got a new plan. With the tools from Play Big, he's a brand new man. He knows it's a journey, not just a quick fix. With patience and practice, he'll find his own mix. Act, take a swing, let the back play. Every setback's a lesson, every strike's a chance to rise up stronger, to take a new stance. With the crowd on his side, he's ready to show. With the ABCs in his heart, he's ready to go. Take a swing, let the back do the talk. Chest high, walk the walk. Breathe in deep, let the pressure unlock. You are focused, ready to rock. Commit to the moment, let the past fade away. Get back in the game, you're ready to play. So here's to the slumps, the struggles we face. With courage and commitment, we'll find our own place. Every new inning is a chance to rise. Chase the champion spirit to the skies. Every new inning is a chance to rise. Here's to the slumps. Here's to the struggles.